What's up, CF fam? This is Coach Matt with our Friday workout. I'm gonna begin with 3 rounds through 10 calories of your choice, row, bike, or ski. Then we're gonna get a warm-up set of Romanian deadlifts. That's gonna be the strength element that we're gonna do for today. So when we set this up, we set the J hooks up so that the bar is somewhere in the middle of your thighs. And then with a shoulder width grip, so like my hands are outside of my legs. When my feet are about hip width apart, I'm gonna stand tall, take 1 step backward, and that's gonna be my stance for this whole set, right? For the RDL, I set my shoulders first, slight bend in the knees, and with the nice straight spine, I slide that bar down my thighs until I get to that good stretch position at the bottom without rounding my back at all, but getting to the end of the hamstring range of motion, and then pull back up, keeping that bar touching my legs, squeeze and lock out at the top. That's my Romanian deadlift, all right? So Romanian deadlift, the main difference is when I get to my knees, on a conventional deadlift, I would bend my knees to get to that bottom position. On the Romanian deadlift, I keep my knees constant for the entire movement. Right, so you will not lift as much on a maximum effort Romanian deadlift, but that is not what we're doing today anyway. This is our deadlift deload cycle because we did our heavy singles last week. So now we're going back down to like 40–50%, just greasing this motion, right? And allowing all of those posterior chain tissues to recover from last week's really heavy effort, okay? The superset on this, you can keep the bar in your hands, and all we're gonna do with the same weight on the bar is just 8 shrugs, right? So when we get to our strength set, right? So I do my 8 reps of the Romanian deadlift. At the finish of that 8th rep, I'm just gonna shrug 8 times, right? So it's 8 plus 8, and then walk the bar back into the rack, and we're gonna do those 8 shrugs on all 4 sets. All right, sorry, I forgot about one thing on the warm-up, and that was to set up and test some of your Flex Friday elements, right? So when I finish the RDLs, but in the warm-up, I want you to be getting your dumbbells out, get your band out, get your bench out for seated press, and then when we finish with the Romanian deadlifts, we can move the bar up to the bench press position. This would be a great workout to do with a small group or a team so that you can have a bar in the rack and a bar on the floor for your bent over barbell rows. But if you're solo, it is totally not a big deal. You can just use the same bar, right? So seated press Flex Friday, or Flex Friday seated press edition. We're gonna get 3 to 4 cycles through, depending on how much time you have. The RDLs and shrugs should not take you very long because the weight is light. You will not need much rest when you go through that. The way we're gonna do the seated press is gonna be drop sets, right? And so every one of these sets is going to be an attempt at max reps, but the weight is gonna get lighter and lighter every set. So starting around 70%, so you should be able to get 8, 9, 10 reps at that weight. Maybe more, maybe slightly less, but that's the range we're looking for, right? And after you finish that seated press, I'll demo a few reps of the seated press, but bench press height, right? So that I can scoot right up tight to it, shrug my shoulders underneath it, pick it up, and now I'm just doing a strict vertical press from the shoulders, as many reps as I can do. When I'm done, let's say I fail at like 11, back to my shoulders, put it back in the rack, and then you can take that bar. If you're solo and you're using the same bar, you can just pick it up off the rack and walk it out to the floor for your bent over barbell rows and the rest of your exercises, okay? So every round, we're gonna drop the weight. That's our drop sets by 10%. When you get out, immediately go to bent over barbell row. Same thing, max reps, max good reps, right? So bent over barbell row, make sure if you get to the point where you have to like start dipping or like jumping, that's past the point of max reps, right? So max good strict reps of that bent over barbell row, and then you can rest about 30 seconds. If you want to put the bar back in the seated press rack, that is fine too. We'll have a couple different setups here. I have 1 pair of dumbbells. If you want multiple pairs of dumbbells out, that would probably be appropriate, or use a band. But the first exercise is a band curl, right? So either 2 dumbbells doing a dumbbell hammer curl, or you can stand on top of a band and do the same motion with band resistance instead. Then we're gonna do 8 reps of the shoulder circuit. This is a multi-circuit. We're gonna go up to the front, out to the side, up to overhead, right? So out to the side, back the way we came, out to the front, and down. So that was 1. And then I go up, out, together, out, forward, down, that's 2. Do that little circuit for 8 reps. Your shoulders should be nice and toasty when you finish that sequence. Move from there to band tricep extension, so tricep muscle on the back side of the arm, hands up through the band, and we're just extending the arms until the elbows are straight. And if you want a little extra of this, you take your thumb and you kind of trace a line across your thigh with your thumb, right? So twist it out until your thumb is pointed behind you, and you'll get a little bit more recruitment on the tricep muscle. And the last one is 10 reps on each side of our half kneeling landmine press. So I'm gonna have this is my landmine, right? Which is just one end of the bars on the ground. The other I can have stacked with plates, and whichever leg is forward, I'm pressing with the opposite arm, right? So it's kind of that cross body tension there, and I'm pressing up, ear in line with the arm, so lean forward a little bit at the top, and then back to my shoulder. Lean forward, back to my shoulder, and when I'm done, I'll switch knees and switch arms. Lean forward, lock out, back to my shoulder, all right? After that, you're gonna rest to recovery. And obviously I would have, that was my seated press bar, that was my bent over barbell row bar, that was my landmine bar, but you will have multiple bars out for that workout, which is why it works better with a group, okay? That's it for today. I hope you guys have a great one, and I'll see you on Saturday.